Hey, what's up, guys? Today I'm going to be talking about a topic: steroids for teens, for those in their teenage years, and even like people in their early 20s, for that matter. Um, Before I get like started into it, I'm not just some random internet person that read up on steroids and I think I know all about them. So I've actually ran 2 cycles of steroids myself, both when I was 18 years old, which I still am now. Um, the side effects that I got from my cycles was increased aggression, higher blood pressure, a lot of muscle gains, and a lot of strength. I ran pretty basic cycles. My first cycle was Test E, testosterone enanthate, and the second cycle I ran was Test E and Depol, Dianabol, for those of you who don't know. The second cycle, I bumped up the dosage. I was running 1 gram of testosterone a week, along with like 40 milligrams of Depol every day. Whereas the first cycle, I was just doing a simple 500 milligrams a week. Uh, and I'm not gonna lie, the gains were like amazing. I jumped my like compounds like easily over 100 pounds on my lifts. Uh, it was pretty amazing, and it was actually kind of mentally addictive because you see like yourself getting like bigger, stronger, and it just sucks going off. Like I'm actually PCTing right now with Nolvadex, uh, and I got some Clomid here too. I'm almost out of Clomid. I don't know if you guys can see this or not, but I'm doing Nova and Clomid just in case one of them was bunk. I don't want to take any risks. I'm PCTing for about 6 weeks right now, but back to the topic. It is mentally addictive, guys, and the price can be expensive too. I mean, you have the actual product itself, and sometimes you run like multiple products in a cycle. Example would be like Test, Debo, maybe Trend. Like, there's so much shit out there, but basically that there's support supplements like HCG. If you choose to run that to keep your balls from shrinking, and then there's PCT where you got to buy more stuff to get your testosterone going again. Um, I mean, there's people who've run steroids in their teens who've lived successful lives, no problems. But obviously, there's a lot of risks. I'm not gonna lie. There's a lot of risks if you run it in your teenage years. You could mess up your endocrine system, which is like growth. For me, I'm 6'3", and the doctor said I'm done growing, like growth plate wise. But I mean, your brain still grows till the age of 25, so that's a possible problem you could run into. But I mean, there's a lot of bodybuilders out there. I mean, if you look at like Arnold Schwarzenegger, he's like in his late years. He was one of like the founders of bodybuilding. He started juicing at 16 years old, I believe. So it was pretty early. Um, and like he's fine now. He hasn't really had any problems, but there's other people who've done it and they go like they get baldness, um, and yeah, they can like stunt their growth, shit like that. But the steroids themselves won't actually cause any baldness. It just if you have the genetic trait for like a recessive hairline and hair loss, then it pretty much just speeds up the process. I myself, I didn't lose like any hair during my cycles. Um, yeah, I didn't really have any sides except aggression and higher blood pressure, but it's easily controllable. Um, I think all the sides can be controllable for the most part. I mean, except for maybe like trend, a lot of people have like a hard time with that. Can't really handle the sides. I mean, you gotta like be mentally prepared and like know what you're doing. Um, if you are gonna like ever do a cycle, just make sure you do your research. Don't just buy it because you can and just start like injecting yourself or like taking pills. Actually know like what you're doing, uh, or you could get like gyno. You could get like fucked up estrogen. You could crash your estrogen if you take too much of like an AI. Um, you could fuck up your testosterone production if you don't like take a serum for PCT. I mean, there's like a bunch of stuff. And one of the things I really learned in my psych work is not better, guys. I mean, you would think like, okay, I'm taking more steroids, so I'm gonna get bigger, I'm gonna get better results. But the difference really from 500 milligrams of testosterone in my first cycle to a gram of test a week with D-bol, it was very minimal in comparison to the side effects that I had. And that kind of sucks, but that's the truth. Maybe in some situations where if you're running like different compounds, you could stack them together more, but your body only has a certain amount of androgenic receptors. So, I mean, more really is not better in most situations. The only thing you might get with more is if the compound aromatizes, then you'll get more of a bloat. Like I bulked from 180 to 230. I'm sitting about like 220 right now. I've dropped like 6-7 pounds since I came off my cycle. It was mostly water weight because, I mean, like I said, I was doing a high dosage. But you're going to lose muscle mass and you're going to lose some strength coming off your cycle. It's going to happen. You can't avoid it. You can't avoid it. And but you can maintain most of your gains, guys, with a good diet and stuff. Whether or not a teen should be on steroids is, I guess, dependent on their goals. If you're trying to be like a bodybuilder, like actually trying to, or like trying to be a powerlifter that wants to like make it far, then unfortunately, like you're gonna need it because there's people who get in natural competitions that have juiced. There's people who've done it in the Olympics. There's people who do it in bodybuilding, powerlifting, like any sport, you name it. People have done it and sneaked in past drug tests. If you're doing it for recreational use, then I mean it's gonna be a long road because you're gonna have to spend a lot of money and you're just going to go right back to your natural limit once you get off, unless you plan on staying on the rest of your life. So, I mean, you could do whatever you want to do, but there is plenty of risks as a teenager. I mean, there's a lot of teenagers who've run them, including myself, but I wouldn't recommend it unless you're actually trying to like go pro at something. Otherwise, you're spending a lot of money, a lot of risks for what? Just to like look good. You can easily do that with a diet and a good training program, which is something I learned. The reason like I'm not running any more cycles, I mean, I actually like loved being on them because, like I said, you're getting strong, you're getting bigger. Is because of my girlfriend. She wants me to get off, or she wanted me to get off, so I got off for the sake of that. Otherwise, I mean, if you don't have a reason, like, it can be hard. You might just want to stay on forever, which is something you gotta think about. And yeah, basically that, guys. Let me know what you think in the comments below, or